to SENCE Agric. We'll be talking agriculture and the Nigerian case. But specifically today, we'll be discussing on the topic plantation crops, cash crops. What has gone down the rain since independence till now? What is the future like? We'll be discussing this with a seasoned expert in the house. We all know that at some point Nigeria was championing agriculture in the whole of Africa. Up to 90% of our earnings were from agriculture. In fact, at some point, we're the leading producer of cocoa, oil palm, and the rest of them. But this is not the case in recent times. We've had our fair share of, the downtime. I want to see what this area, what are the investment opportunity holds for Nigerians. And to discuss this topic with me, I have Mr. Abdulah Saheed, sorry. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for seeing us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mr. Abdulah is an agronomist by profession. He had an MSc in agronomy at the University of Ibadan. He was also at Federal University of Futa, where he had a B Agric in crop production. He has been into agricultural consulting for the past 14 years, which has seen him travel far and wide of Nigeria, consulting for different organizations. Once again, sir, thank you for seeing us. You are very good.
Thank you very much.
To start the discussion, sir, I would like you to throw more light. What is a plantation crop? What are cash crops? For our listeners who don't have idea of what it is.
Before I go by definitions, to a layman, when we say you have plantations, it means that you have a particular crops planted in a row for an expanse of land. Artificially established forest. And when we say plantation crops, it also means cash crops, permanent crops, or economist crop. To some people, when we say plantation, they don't really understand that it's still the same thing as cash crop, economic crops, and plantation crops. And we have a lot of examples of plants that can also be that we call cash crops. Some of them are, we have cocoa, we have coffee, we have tea, we have oil palm. Even plantain is also in the category of permanent crops, and banana also. And we have there's something we call Avindia, that is Oro in Yoruba language. And we also have this, our animal fruit. We have citrus, and that means.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So which means we are talking about a whole array of crop on this our discussion.
Yes.
Sir, what's your opinion about the state of cash crop production in Nigeria, dating back to the time before we had this oil boom? What's your opinion?
Well, thank you very much. The plantation crops, like in the south here, we are talking about cocoa, oil palms, coffee, tea, and cola nuts. These are the crops that the main source of income for the south. Then when we talk about the north, they have cotton. In the north, they have cotton, and they have even talk about the granite pyramid in the north. These are the mainstay of our economy before the oil started booming. And in the olden days, this economy, most of the infrastructures we have, even today that we can point into, like for example, in Ibadan, we have Cocoa House. It was built from cocoa money. We have even the National Stadium in Ibadan, even the Little Nigeria in Ibadan. There is an hotel called Premier Hotel in Mokola in Ibadan. All these things were built during that time before even we started observing that there is oil in our country. So before the booming of the oil, agriculture was the mainstay of the economy.
Okay, having said that, it shows that as at those times, it means this industry was doing very well. There
Yes.
was money, very competitive. Does it mean that at this present time, is no longer a worthwhile investment for Nigerians to go into? Or
It's a worthwhile business. We are still, like for example, they will say no food for lazy man. You don't work, no money. And there's something we call, if agriculture remains stagnant, industry will not grow. Most of the industry today is as a result of agriculture is still happening. But the problem we have in Nigeria is because of a kind of a decline in our interest in agriculture. And if young people, even old people that have interest and want to invest in agriculture, especially the plantation crops, should increase in number. I would also say that even most of the problem we have in Nigeria today will be reduced drastically. To tell you that it's highly competitive. Today, we produce the cocoa beans, we sell it abroad, they come back and give us chocolate. Today also, in the East, they eat cola and they use cola to start any ceremony. The northern people, they eat cola not. We produce it here. Like in the Igbo land, any ceremony they want to do, I hope I'm permitted to speak in Igbo language, they say, Onye wetere oji, wetere undu. The meaning is that he who brings cola brings life. In any ceremony they want to do, to tell us that if one is into production of any of these economic crops, you are already in money. Even the cashew nut. Even in Lagos today, we consume cashew nut. Even cashew also has oil. Look at the oil palm. We have the oil palm kernel. We have the oil palm. Even we also get the oil also from the oil palm. So even the whole plant of oil palm, starting from the leaves, they get broke from it. It's not. So to just tell us that if we invest into agriculture, especially in the area of plantation crops, there is no doubt you are going to make your money, even in triple.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You've been able to clear the air that it is still as competitive as
Yes.
it was.
Yes.
But what other advantage do you think plantation crop still has as against growing annual crops like maize within short time? What's the advantage of that over other?
It has a lot of advantages. It's like keeping your money and reaping it in future. For example, now as we are working now in a white collar job, working in an office, we don't know where to even keep our money except of buying property, except of buying shares. Shares, we all see what we have done to, but it's still okay. But I want to say that the advantage it has is this. At the younger age, you start working, you invest in cash crops, permanent crops, you have it, maybe 1 hectare. And when we say 1 hectare, we're talking about 2.5 acre or 15 plots or 10,000 meters square. You have 1 hectare of oil palm established. I'm telling you that is by the time you start having your returns, you are already in a millionaire. So the advantage is that you establish it, it doesn't request for frequent attentions, apart from the period of establishment. And once you do that, you can still do your normal daily job. Then when you go into arable crops, it requires your attentions 24 hours. But this one, you establish it before you can have returns to be after 3-4 years. So it has a lot of advantages over the arable crops.
Okay, thank you very much. But I want to say, what about if I have plantains, let's say I'm into oil palm or the whole land of oil palm, can I still also do one or two things along with it, or I can't do any other thing apart from, let's say, cocoa or oil palm?
And thank you very much. The issue is this. You establish your permanent crops. The very first 2-3 years, you can still plant your arable crops. So that the space, for example now, if it is cocoa, the planting distance is from one plant to another plant it can be between 8 meters or 9 meters. If it is oil palm in triangle, it can be between 7.5 to 8 meters in triangle. That is the spacing. All those, that distance, you can plant your arable crops, and that means cassava, even cowpea, even plantain in cocoa. Like in Yoruba, they will say cocoa, ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ló máa ń wo cocoa sàn, because cocoa require partial shade. So when you plant your cocoa, you still have to plant plantain. Plantains provide the partial shade, and at that stage, plantains provide the partial shade, and cocoa require the shade. You know, they are complementing each other. So before you start having returns from the permanent crops, the first 2-3 years you'll be having some returns that will serve as a maintenance for your permanent crops.
Thank you very much, sir. Having said that, what are the challenges that an investor will face going into this area of, some people that might want to go, they might not have any knowledge about it. So, what are the possible challenges that that could come their way?
Well, there is nothing you want to do in this life that it has no challenges, pros and cons. For permanent crops, even on the arable crops, the major problems there is weed control and pest and disease. Then once you can take care of that one, you don't have any problem. And that is why we normally advise the youth or the old ones that have interest in agriculture, before you start anything in agriculture, try as soon as possible to consult the experts that will guide you, starting from the site selection, starting from the getting the required seedling. For example, in cocoa, oil palm, plantain, we call them seedling. These are the planting material. Except in plantain that we said we need sucker. For the rest, seedlings. In getting the correct seedlings, the weed control we are talking about, and the pests and diseases, which are the major problems. Once you take care of the other ones, those are the problems you'll be facing. Because if you don't weed, the weed competes with the nutrient. I mean, they compete with the plant for nutrient. Then the pests and diseases, some of these plants like it will serve as hosts for disease and pests. And once you are able to take care of them, there won't be any problem.
Okay, sir. Considering the fact that the population of farmers we have now are aging, we have average of 50, 60, those who are into farming in the villages. What do you think could be the role of youth? How can youth be part of these what do you think they can do?
Well, I want to say that we youths, we have advantages over our father. But we have the time, we still have the energy, then we are all learning. We are learning to our father, and now we have the first degree on the second degree. And in having that own quality against our father, so if they come in, for example now, in the past our father just plant half assembly, but now the youth will know that I'm a learned person. I need to plant in a row. I need to have a precise distance from one stand to another stand. I need to weed at the appropriate time. And in doing that, the yield will be almost times 2 of what is happening.
Thank you very much. To cap it off, sir, what's your advice for those who are willing to go into this? As your final advice for them?
The main advice I would tell people that are willing to go into agriculture, either plantation crops, arable crops, even any area of agriculture, is that the first thing is that they should consult experts before they start anything. Some, they will have gotten the land, they will have started middle way before they now come back. And as they do that, it's a kind of a big mistake for them. The second thing is that they should search for knowledge. They should attend seminars. They should attend workshops. They should read. Most of we Nigerians, we are not reading. So these are the 2 things I would say that farmers should do before they start any activities on agriculture.
Well, in terms of finance, you know, like from what you have picked from what you said, it seems it involves a lot of financial commitment for me, for somebody to break even. Like you say, you can't have two, three stand of cocoa and say you are making money. So how does that? Because some of us youths, we don't have money on our side, or we have this passion. So what do you think we can do? You know,
What I will say is that it's not until when you have millions of naira before you can go into agriculture. Agriculture is a business that once you have the land, you can start in phases. For example, we youth that we don't have millions of naira, if it is 100 stand of cocoa that you can plant this year, by next year you plant another 100. Within about 5 years, you have almost 500 stand. Then at the same time also, youth can also raise the seedlings. For example, now the cost of the seedlings, you can reduce it. You can raise the seedlings against next year, and that will reduce the cost of the seedlings.
thank you very much, sir. Like from his words, we don't need millions of naira to go into this agriculture. From what I gather from what he said, we need passion and consistency.
Yes.
I would like you to join us some other time as we discuss other topics that are very interesting. Thank you, sir, for seeing us, and we are very grateful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.